So I said that Joel flows in one direction in his prophecy, and we ended at Joel 2. And at the ending of Joel 2, it talks about how it gives us a synopsis of the Lord shaking the heavens and the earth and judging the nations. Now, when you go into Joel chapter 3, the judgment of the nations are more detailed. And so I want to go into that today because, yeah. So reading from Joel chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and at that time, when I restore the fortunes of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather all the nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will enter into judgment with them there on behalf of my people and my heritage Israel, because they have scattered them among the nations and have divided up my land, and have cast lots for my people, and have traded a boy for a prostitute, and have sold a girl for a wine, and have drunk it." So I want you to notice that the judgment is at the end of the age. The valley of Jehoshaphat is the same as Armageddon. So the Lord is judging the people for what they have done. The description here that the Lord is describing, trading a boy for a prostitute, it's almost like a description of people taken captive, being sold, and doing whatever their captors want with them. "What are you to me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the regions of Philistia? Are you paying me back for something? If you're paying me back, I will return your payment on your own head, swiftly and speedily. For you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried my rich treasures into your temples. You have sold the people of Judah and Jerusalem to the Greeks in order to remove them far from their own border. Behold, I will stir them up from the place to which you have sold them, and I will return your payment on your own head. I will send your sons and your daughters into the hand of the people of Judah, and they will sell them to the Sabaeans, to a nation far away, for the Lord has spoken." So you have here the Lord describing why he is judging the nations. I think it's self-explanatory. But take into consideration that the Lord is mentioning slavery and what happened to his people, and how they were so scattered through means of slavery. And this is now the time when the Lord is going to judge it. So this is not something that happened like eons ago. And so you have verse 8, verse 9 and 10 is talking about the Lord saying, come into battle, gather your men and come into battle with me. Verse 11 is talking about, gather all the people from the surrounding areas, bring down your warriors, and so they're being called into the valley of Jehoshaphat by the Lord to say, come war with me. And then when you get to verse 13, it says, put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Go in, tread, for the winepress is full, the vats overflow, for their evil is great. That is not talking about the harvesting of the saints. That is a direct description of what happened in Revelation chapter 14 after the harvest of the earth. So you see here how in verse 14, chapter 14, verse 14 says, then I look, and behold a white cloud, and seated on the cloud one like the Son of Man, with a golden crown on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. And another angel came out of the temple, calling with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud, put in your sickle and reap, for the hour to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is fully ripe. So he who sat on the cloud swung his sickle across the earth, and the earth was reap. Not the same language here, because the language that the reaping is the gathering in of God's people. The language that is being used here is put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Go in, tread, for the winepress is full. A winepress is something that you use to squeeze the juice out of grape. The winepress is full, that the vats overflow, for their evil is great. That is describing the judgment of God on the nation, what he's going to do to them. That language is similar to this language, which comes immediately after the verses that I just read you. So after the Lord gathers in his people, it says in Revelations 14 chapter 17, says, then another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. So there are two angels with two sickles. And another angel came out from the altar, the angel who has authority over the fire. He called with a loud voice to the one who had the sharp sickle, put in your sickle and gather the clusters for the vine of the earth, for its grapes are ripe. So the angel swung his sickle across the earth and gathered the grape harvest of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. So you see there are similar languages here. So this is talking about the judgment. It says, let me just finish this verse 20. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and blood flowed from the winepress as high as the horse's bridle for 1,600 stadia. So you see that the language here is similar when it's talking about the judgment of God. So don't get those two mixed up, the harvesting of the grape and the harvesting of the grape to be thrown into the great winepress. And then it says, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near. In the valley of decision, the sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. So that is talking about, again, when the Lord comes, the moon, the light, everything is going to go dark. The Lord is going to come on the cloud, and all eyes will behold him. The Lord roars from Zion and utters his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth quake. But the Lord is a refuge to his people, a stronghold to the people of Israel. So, and then here it goes into verse 17. It goes into the glory of Israel. So after, remember I say after the tribulation, what is going to happen? The Lord is going to set up his millennial kingdom. He's going to call the 12 tribes of Israel back into the land, and he is going to multiply them as they was before. They're going to have peace. The Lord is going to save them and sanctify them. They are going to be a holy people unto God, and the Lord will once again dwell in their midst. And so you have here, after the Lord has judged the nation, you see here, so you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who dwells in Zion, my holy mountain, and Jerusalem shall be holy, and stranger shall never again pass through it. And in that day the mountain shall drip sweet wine, and the hill shall flow with milk, and all the stream beds of Judah shall flow with water, and a fountain shall come forth from the house of the Lord and water the valley of Shittim. So just gives you a description of what is to come after the Lord judges her. So Joel is one of those beautiful books that when you read it, see Joel's book as a book that flows. It's flowing in a direction, and it is all pertaining to Israel. No other nation can take the book of Joel and say it is talking about me or that. This does not pertain to Gentile believers. This is pertaining to God's people and how he is going to judge them, redeem them, judge the nations who came up against them, and he is going to reestablish them. So those are the themes that you will see throughout the book of Joel. So happy reading.